All right, guys. So this week we watched Jung, which was a number one trending movie on Netflix this week. Didn't even know about it until I opened Netflix, so that's pretty cool. Directed by Yeon Sang Ho, starring Kang Soo Yeon and Kim Hyun Joo. Here's a little synopsis for you. In a post-apocalyptic near future, a researcher at an AI lab leads the effort to end the civil war by cloning the brain of a heroic soldier, which happens to be her mother. We're going to start this, guys. No spoiler, of course. Real quick.
It was hard to follow because it was dubbed and not made for English people. So I did catch myself having to rewind a lot, but the story was, for like what I could piece together, is a pretty intriguing story.
I also thought it was pretty intriguing, and I thought not just like the dub, like I thought the story itself was pretty easy to follow along with, but it was just for me it took a little bit to pick up on until like about halfway through.
The beginning was pretty slow, and so if you didn't really pay attention to the first, like I'd say 30 minutes, it's not like you missed out a whole bunch, but I feel like it was easy to turn your brain off during that time, and that time did hold a lot of important information that you needed for the rest of the movie too.
Yeah, that is true. It wasn't just me, but like the opening credits, like where it was doing like the little explainer, was that really hard for y'all to follow too?
I wouldn't say hard to follow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say hard to follow.
No.
Not necessarily.
Just some of the wordage was kind of weird.
I mean, the wordage was a little weird, but for the most part,
I got the gist, but I feel like it repeated what it was saying like 8 different times, and I was like, I don't think this is what they're actually saying. But all right.
Oh yeah, I do agree with that a little bit. I know what you mean.
Like it would say like the same sentence but rephrased every time, and I was like, I think this isn't right, but I'll go with it.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say overall, I think it was a pretty good movie. Like I said, it's a pretty interesting story, especially towards the end when it starts to pick up. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's very unique though. I feel like I've seen this movie before. You know what I mean?
It's one of those popcorn movies that you just sit down and just enjoy some robots fighting, you know?
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job getting that futuristic like atmosphere though. Like
Mm-hmm.
I thought the story was intriguing enough. I just thought the script was pretty poor. I thought it could have been executed better. But if they were to do like another story, more in the actual like city or in the world of this post-apocalyptic future, I think I'd be down to see it.
Kind of reminded me of like the Anita battle robot a little bit.
That's what I was telling Anthony the other day.
It was like a mix of like that and like some.
Yeah.
What is it, like some Bourne Legacy sprinkled in there?
I love Anita though. The movie's amazing.
The movie's cool with their big old bug eyes.
Yeah, her bug eyes are awesome.
Her robot bug eyes. As for like negatives, I did think some of the CGI was pretty shoddy.
I was going to talk about that later.
And there's just a lot of I also mentioned the whole script thing. There's just a lot of areas of the story that I can get into later that are just very like out of place, or they just don't really work for me. I did like the way they explored the whole mother-daughter relationship, which is not a spoiler because in the synopsis it said it's about her mother. The whole mother-daughter relationship between the scientist and, of course, the clone of the heroic soldier. But like other than that, there wasn't really much going for this movie, in my opinion.
I will say I understood the type A, B, and C thing. I don't get why that was. Like they didn't explain why type B was different than type A. You know?
Oh, like
they did, but at the same time, it like didn't make like they said
how they're different, but didn't explain why they're different. Does that make sense? For like what reason? Like,
Well, the reason was the price. That was it.
They were
But I
trying to
feel like-
clone him.
Yeah, they didn't go in like detail. They just kind of gave you a brief overview and was like, A and B don't really matter. We're really going to talk about C here. That's what the story's
I
about.
just feel like the differences between them, it doesn't. I don't see how it's legally allowed for them to be different. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't get. Like, how did they even get that to be allowed? You know what I mean?
I guess you can get more into it in the spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need more detail from what you're saying to understand what you're saying.
So, anyways, would y'all recommend this movie?
Man.
I don't think so. I think there are different movies of the same genre that I would rather watch and would recommend you watch instead of this one.
Go watch iRobot.
Yeah.
True.
Or if anyone in the comments has another foreign movies to recommend, y'all can recommend those too. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend
The problem has nothing to do with it being a foreign movie like that.
No, I'm just saying in general, if you're into
I mean-
foreign movies.
It's just the movie itself, you know, foreign or not.
I know. I'm not saying it's wrong that it's a foreign movie. I'm just saying if anyone wants to recommend other foreign movies,
Fair enough.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool too. But on that note,
Lace me please.
we're gonna go into the spoilers. So see y'all later. If y'all don't want spoilers, say it to your mom for us and
TBH,
check out the
just stick around.
links in the description. Yeah, probably could. Probably totally could. But anyways, now we're in spoilers.
So
I
the
guess
whole
we'll start
sex
with the
robot
negatives.
thing was pretty funny, huh?
You know what's funny? It's that actually happened. So
Yeah,
That was the worst part.
that's one of the things that came out of freaking nowhere.
It felt really out of place. Like they're
That's
just
what I mean.
like it didn't like we went from like really dramatic moment to like action moment, and right in between that was just a dude using her mom as a sex robot, and we're just like,
I
okay,
understand why they did that. Because they needed some kind of transition into like the housewife thing, and they needed to show that, but it was definitely
like something
weird.
that her mom wouldn't have approved them using her brain or body for. But I feel like there would have been a better timed moment for that, other than just they're like, oh shit, let's just throw this in here and call it good.
It was so weird. Like it came out of nowhere because like she was going down the hall and you
Dude.
just hear that noise, and I was just like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh no!" And
I
then,
laughed
for
so
some
hard.
reason she wanted to check on it.
Dude, I started laughing because the nut that was shown on it, which just looked so fake and so fucking funny, dude.
I know. I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I verbally was like, "What?" out loud because I did not believe that was
Dude,
going
I
on.
started laughing, dude. Shit was too funny.
It was just like, what the heck? See, just like stuff like that, or like the ending. I got why the fight was happening at the end, but it just felt like it was kind of rushed. Like it just came out of nowhere.
It
All of a
felt like
sudden,
it
they
was
just started
forced.
fighting.
Like,
yeah, and I was
I
like, what?
feel like they're like, we're gonna do this American blockbuster style when they had this really deep, like emotional story going, and they're like, fuck it, final boss battle, knock yourself out. Like I would have much rather have it been like a close quarters like escape versus like a whole huge let's get out the city, let's do it on a train, let's have the train floating, that way there's people falling, you know. I feel like it would have been like a close quarters, like emotional, like lower stakes fight. It would have felt better in the like overall story for the movie versus like a all scale iRobot. There's 80 million robots to kick through.
Right.
And low key too. Low key, the mom, she was actually not that strong.
Not that strong?
Yeah.
I feel like the mom was a terrible character
Why do you say that?
because she wasn't developed like at all. She's just like this over glorified like puppet basically.
She wasn't developed enough.
And then
for us
not
to care
only
she
that-
escaped.
Then not only that, the daughter deleted the part of the mother that made her not a robot basically and just destroyed the character at the end anyways.
No, I thought she deleted.
Her memory of her having a daughter,
Yeah.
which is what humanized her, which is what held her back from becoming just a full-fledged killing robot.
Oh, that's a good point, I guess. I didn't understand the point of that. Why did she delete? She didn't need to delete that.
Well, she did because that's how she got through the simulation. Because before, whenever she hesitated and would die every time, it was because she was thinking about her daughter. So she was like, "Let me delete the memories of the daughter, so there's nothing
But
to freeze her up." And that's how come she survived
the
that
project
simulation.
was over. Like, she didn't need to complete the simulation. And not only that, she could have just deleted the memory of the little toy. Like,
Don't work like that.
I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
Now
it
she's
didn't
like,
make
what
sense to
this
me
toy?
either. Because they took the only part that was keeping her as like a human character, because she's already a full on robot. The only part that was keeping her human, they just deleted it, and they're like, "Shoo." And at
I
that
thought
point, it's not even her mom anymore. It's just a fucking robot.
They were like,
I don't think that's the
oh.
only thing keeping her human because she had the memories of the entire human life. Like to her, to the robot, she was human. You know, it wasn't just because of the daughter.
Well, I didn't mean like human. I meant like full on assassin. Like at that point, she's just a soldier with no like background. Because like obviously her daughter was the biggest part that was keeping her grounded. Delete the memory of the daughter means you have to delete the
I
memory
think
of the other relationship. So then
I
at
think
that
even
point,
then
she's
she
just
could have been
a killer.
a killing machine, even with the daughter. She just was failing that one specific simulation because of the one specific toy. Like take away the toy, and she was still human, but she was still a killing machine.
I agree. I'm talking about they actually deleted the whole thing. You're talking about that one memory, but I'm talking about after they deleted the whole memory of her child, that this is no longer her just being a Chad, you know.
No, I get what you're saying too. I just have nothing else to say.
That was the deepest part of the movie. Everything else is pretty surface level.
The thing I was saying about the type A, B, and C is like type A is you have all the rights as a normal human. Type B is you have like half the rights, and type C is you have no rights. But
They didn't want him to have rights.
But either way, they have the consciousness of their human counterpart. They think they're human. So how do they get away with taking away the rights? You know, like
Because it's Korea.
It just didn't make sense to me. Like, how is that even possible? To have,
Because technically they're not humans, they're robots at that point.
but they have the consciousness of humans.
Well, that's the debate. Is that does it really make them human if they're not actually human?
Or if they don't think so, then why do they have type A to begin with?
Exactly. To
Yeah.
make money, to buy themselves their rights. That's literally just a pay to win.
Literally, you have to buy rights. That's just
Well, that's
yeah,
the point. It's supposed to show like the whole place is corrupt. Like
It's
this,
a pay to win.
it is pay to win life, pay for rights.
That's crazy.
That's how come they make the base model with no rights free. That way they can have just a bunch of people who are slaves.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing is she deleted the part about her daughter, or the daughter deleted the part about herself. But she
Am I
didn't
to-
delete anything else, so like they can still use her mom with the 100 other clones that they have. So I feel like she didn't really do anything. Like they still had hundreds of other ones, you know what I mean? They're still gonna use them. She didn't stop anything from happening.
No, she didn't.
No.
It's stupid. That's what I was like. This was like, first of all, once you delete her memory, she's not even your mom anymore. So why set her free after you do that?
Yeah.
Second of all, they still have copies of her fucking brain stored away.
Yeah, I saw that too.
There was a scene where it showed her deleting files, but if there's still like 100 clones of her mother locked away, then
Yes.
you really didn't delete it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, she's public domain, dog. So
Yeah,
everyone
it's
has a copy of her somewhere. Like, it's not how it works. So if you're gonna like set your mom free, at least set like a full version, not like a partially deleted part of her brain.
It's true.
Because
And then what is the mom even gonna do on the island now? Like,
Be
she's
alone.
a robot, she's not gonna be able to charge herself.
I don't get it.
I don't know. She's just
It just
free.
seems empty. Like that whole thing just seems like
That's a good word for it. Yes.
I'm glad y'all thought it didn't make sense either. I thought it was just me, but like I was watching it and I was like, why though?
Yeah.
Because apparently, I don't know.
Just so they can get to a big end battle.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I mean. Even halfway through the movie, I was like, well, are we really just watching them research on a robot the whole time? But I didn't want them to rush into anything either.
I thought we were gonna get some more like corruption. Like I thought it was gonna be like a company corruption thing, but it was not that at all. It was just a bitch freeing her mom.
And they're also cloning it, doing like making an army for this to stop like the Civil War. What are the implications of the Civil War? Like, why is it important? Why is it dangerous? Like, what's going? Like, it doesn't explain that.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't go into detail about it. Like why is it so important?
They say it and then they just completely ignore it.
They basically were like, with everything combined, they're like, look, there's a lot of backstory. There's a lot of stuff that makes this possible, but we're just not going to go into it. Just worry about the plot.
They didn't elaborate.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't really care about it.
I thought we were about to watch a really badass like war movie. Like the way it started, I really thought it was going to be like Anita, where it's just like evil robots, good robots, big war. But no, it was just a fucking lab researcher poking and prodding a robot
The whole time. I don't know. Threw me off. I don't got anything positive left to say either. So
I don't know. The CGI was really bad.
I did like the twist that, or I guess it wasn't really a twist because we knew about it, but the fact that the main guy was also an android,
A robot?
He's also a clone of the other guy. I liked that. That was pretty cool. But
That was cool.
I thought it was funny when he found out.
yeah,
He just like,
like,
wait,
what?
and then he immediately like just turns on a boss mode and he immediately knows how to do everything.
yeah, I forgot about that. Like, oh, I'm robot. Oh
Time
yeah,
to go
no.
sicko mode.
He's like, I figure it out. I figure out my powers.
How to activate super strength.
Gotta rebooting. But yeah.
CGI was awful in the start. Like the opening sequence, all the robots looked fake as shit.
Yeah, but I don't think it was all awful. There was some scenes where it was pretty good.
The only thing that was good was the actual city, and like throughout the movie, like whenever they were able to do like one robot at a time, it would look really good. But any scene there was like more than one, everything just looked like plastic.
I agree. That's it. That's all I got.
Yep, that's all I got too.
Lovely. Anthony, is that all you
Me
got?
too. Every day.
All right, see ya.
All right, ratings.
Yeah, we're doing ratings. Just gotta write the sucker down.
This is hard.
I'm gonna give it a.
I'm gonna give it a.
Between a 4 and a 5, and that's pretty low for me.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
I was gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay, I'll give it a 4.
And I wasn't gonna stutter either.
I was between 2.5 and 3, but I'm gonna go with 2.5.
4.5.
Wow, our first officially licensed
mega
of
dud.
2023, and we're only 3 movies in, ladies and gentlemen. That's how awful January's been.
I'm pretty sure last year we started off with like 6
8 cold streaks in a row. Yeah, you had a really, really cold streak to start off.
I think that was like 3 in a row, maybe.
It was like 3 in a row, then 1 good one, and then another like 4 shitty ones, and then a good one.
And then it picked up real fast after that. It's just that
And then
time of
after
year.
that, we were just running.
It's just that time.
Yeah, and I don't think anything else is coming out.
Crazy.
You people is
A little bit. So what?
you people on Friday.
Anyway,
That's what I want to watch because it looks funny.
Anthony, you want to take us out?
All right, thank you for watching. Follow us at hooliganhangout.com/hooliganhangout and buy our merch on Instagram, and see you later.
Stay out of your mom's throat.